Hi, interghost here. It's been 2 years, but how about a pickups video?
Interghost is at the caboose. He's picking up games to show to you. He really likes to play on his Wii U. And if you think you've got a high score, well, that's what Retro Records is for. His XCOM team aren't living anymore. Him and all the dudes are singing out of tune. It's your friendly YouTube hosts, interghost.
So yeah, I did a car boot sale, or I went to a car boot sale today. It's the only one I've been to this year, and I haven't really been for the last couple of years. I might have gone to one or two, but yeah, I just don't really go to car boot sales anymore, just because, you know, people get there crack of dawn and just pick up everything worth any money just so they can ship it off to CEX, and it's just like no fun anymore. But I did go to one today. I picked up quite a few things, and so I checked on the channel, and it's been 2 years almost to the day that I did my last pickups video. So it was this September-October 2021 video. Doesn't time fly? So I thought, hey, why not do a pickups video? I haven't done anything with this channel for a little while, mainly because I'm not really into gaming at the moment. If you follow me on Instagram, I'll put a link below, you will probably know that I'm really into reading these days. Books, mainly horror books, crime books, thriller books. I still sort of collect the odd video game. My love at the moment is reading, and if you haven't ever got into reading, it's a really cool thing to do. It's very affordable, and it's better than watching the crap they're putting on Disney and Netflix at the moment. A lot's happened over the last couple of years. I'm not going to go into that too much in this video because it would just take up too much time. I'm meeting up with some YouTube friends next week, so I'll just show you the bits that I picked up today at the car boot sale. The one I went to is one of the biggest ones in our area. It took me about three and a half hours to walk around the whole thing, so it took absolutely ages to walk around it. First thing is this pop figure. I got this for my son Jack. I'm not really a big fan of pop figures. I've got 3 or 4, but he really likes the Game of Thrones, so I picked up this Daenerys. I think it was £5. Also found this really cool PG Tips Turtles Dimension Escapade. And basically what this was is back in the day you could buy PG Tips tea bags, and you'd get these little cards inside the box, and then you could stick them in this book to make up, can't see where, here's one. So you can make up, like, you stick the card on there and it completes the pictures. And this one was complete. It was only £1. And yeah, it's really cool. Still collect the odd turtle thing, so for £1 couldn't really miss that one. Did pick up a couple of games. I'm actually playing more on my PlayStation 3 at the moment, just because the games are really cheap. I haven't really bought loads of them, but the game that I bought recently was Infamous. I played it in the past, really liked it, so I bought it back from CEX. I think it was like £2 or £2.50, and played through and completed it, and yeah, it just plays just as well as it used to. So I thought, if I see any cheap PlayStation 3 games at the car boot sale, which I want, I'm not just going to grab any, I'll pick them up. And then I found somebody who's selling them for £1 each, so I bought Bioshock 2, which is a classic game, one which I've never played before, Call of Juarez Bound in Blood, sorry, which sort of looks a bit like a Red Dead game. If you played it, let me know if it's any good. But for £1 I thought I'd pick that up. Another one I've not played, but I played the original, just not this one, Wolfenstein New Order. No, I'm not really a shoot 'em up fan, but it just looks interesting, and it's always good to shoot some Nazis. Made by the people who made Doom. So yeah, all 3 of those for £3. Ordered this, I checked them all, they're all perfect condition, no scratches at all, don't look like they've been played really, and they've all got their manuals in there, so bargain. So next I'll show you some books I picked up. Like I said, I'm really getting into reading at the moment. Most of them were sort of like 50p each. Some people were selling them for like 10p, 20p. If you're into reading, it's no brainer, go to the car boot sale, pick up a bargain. I think the most I paid for them was £1. So first of all, I got some Stephen King books. Really getting into Stephen King at the moment. I made it a sort of a mission to try and collect all the Stephen King books. I think I've got all of them now apart from one, which was Roadworks, which is one which he wrote in his pseudonym Richard Bachman, which I'll pick up at some point. But I think I've got every Stephen King book there is now, including the really rare Rage book, which was cancelled. So when I see Stephen King books now, I only pick them up if I'm going to trade them out for the ones which I've already got. So if I know I've got like a not very good copy of it, then I'll get another one which is, if it's in better condition. So the first one I got was The Shining. Classic Stephen King. I've actually read this one, just like this cover, and so yeah, The Shining. If you haven't read that, that's a really good Stephen King book to start on. I would highly recommend it. Next one is If It Bleeds, which is a collection of short stories. I think I have this in hardback but not in paperback, and I prefer to read the paperback because they're just easier to read and hold and take to work. So pick that one up. Finally, I picked up the Green Mile. Again, I've got this in hardback, I think. Yeah, I thought pick up the normal paperback version of it. Really looking forward to reading that one I haven't read yet. So these next three are by a horror writer called James Herbert. Now, he was a writer I used to read when I was a teenager, and I used to enjoy his work. I read one of his, or reread one of his books recently called The Rats, and didn't really enjoy it. It's a very sort of like over sexualized. The rats like to bite off people's privates and stuff like that. So it felt like it was written by a teenager. Maybe that's why I enjoyed it as a teenager. But when I see his books cheap, I will pick them up. I got these two for 50p for both of them. So it was The Dark, which I've not read, and The Survivor, again, which I've not read. And then I found a hardback book called The Ghost of the Sleeve. I think that's how you say it. I just thought this book looked really cool. I like the jacket on there, and it had a nice little map on the inside. So yeah, I picked that one up. I think that was £1. Another writer which I'm collecting up quite a few of his books. I think a lot of them are down there. Wilbur Smith. It's Eagle in the Sky. I've only read one of his books, and it was recommended to me by somebody at work, and I quite enjoyed it. So when I see his books cheap, I pick them up, and I'll read a couple more to see if they're all as good as the first one. If they are, then I'll continue to read them. If not, I will sell them off as a bulk lot. I bought this one just because it looked really cool, and it's the novel version of E.T. and it's got a name in the front there. She said that her auntie bought it for her when she was 12 years old. So yeah, she says it's a really good book. Book by Anne Rice, who writes vampire stories. I've not read any of her books yet. I've got Interview with a Vampire to read, which I've heard is really good, and I've got a couple more of her books. This one is a continuation from Interview with the Vampire. This is Vampire Lestat. Quite a chunky book. It was a bit bent, but I think he only wanted 20p, so I thought I'd pick that up while I saw it. And finally, this one is a point crime book called Patsy Kelly Investigates. Now, these are children's books. There was a series of books called Point Horror Books, which were quite popular in the 90s, and then this was sort of like a spin-off series called Point Crime. And I just like the covers on these. I've not actually read any of them. I've only got one so far, so this is my second one, and they look like a really quick, easy read, so I'll give that a go. I think it was in like 10p. Also, at sort of car boot sales, or mainly at charity shops, I've been seeing 7-inch singles, record singles, and the ones from the sort of 80s and 90s have really cool covers on them. So when I see them for cheap, I've been picking them up. So these ones I got, some of them were 50p. There was one which was £1, but the rest of them I found a stall which was selling them for 30p each. So the majority of these were 30p. The only one which was £1 was this one, which is Madonna's Hanky Panky, which is from the movie Dick Tracy. I thought that was quite cool. So I'll just go through them really quickly just to show you what they are. Phil Collins, Merry Christmas everyone. Living in America from Rocky IV, Sinead O'Connor. The Final Countdown, Madonna's True Blue, in Wilds Kids in America. Better the Devil You Know. Very 90s. One which I think my brother had when we was younger. Jive Bunny. Samantha Fox, Nothing's Gonna Stop Me. Ooh, almost fell out. Another one my brother had. I'm not sure if I've got this one or not, but I picked it up. It was 30p, and it's Paula Abdul's Opposites Attract. I just love the cover on this one. Bit rough shape, but it's the Young Ones Living Doll with Cliff Richard for Red Nose Day, Comic Relief. If You Can't Stand the Heat by Bucks Fizz. Tiffany, I Think We're Alone Now. Kylie Minogue, I Should Be So Lucky. Jason Donovan's Too Many Broken Hearts. Oh, Here They Are Together, especially for you. Roxette, It Must Have Been Love. Another Red Nose Day one, Bananarama, Help. Another Kylie one, didn't realise I got so many of these. Locomotion, must have been somebody's collection. And one which I had as a kid, but I don't know where it's gone. I think it might be in the loft, but I thought I'd pick it up for 30p, and that's Deep Deep Trouble and Symptoms. So that was all the records I picked up. Then finally, I picked up some Skylander figures. Now, I've got loads and loads of Skylander figures, and I only picked them up, they're really cheap, and I'm sure that they're ones that I haven't got. So I don't know their names, but I'll just show them very quickly. Got like a coffin car, some sort of cool see-through dragon, like a water beast, some robot with a big shield, some fire person, somebody with an ice gun by the look of it, and last but not least, some bird type creature. So there we go, there's a old-fashioned pickups video from Interghost. I hope you enjoyed it. I will do some more if you want to see more. Obviously it'll be very book heavy, but if I do have any games or toys I will show them. But there we go, that's Interghost for September 2023. Maybe it'll be another 2 years before I do another one, but if not, I will catch you soon. Oh, before I go, remember I am doing reaction videos on my second channel, which is Interghost House. I'll put a link below. I do reactions on movies and also old 80s and 90s cartoons, so if you can go and check that out. I do a video every month on there, and it's doing quite well, so please show some support. Go over there, subscribe if you haven't done so, and watch some of the videos and tell me what you think. Thanks for watching. I will catch you in another video. Cheers.